go over my New Year's resolution list that I made for 2013, which I think I also made a video about on NerdyVloggers. So I'm gonna go over this list and see what I accomplished, what I didn't accomplish. Number 1, go on a road trip. I did go on a road trip this year. I went on a road trip to St. Louis this summer, which is a 3-hour drive from where I live. And I stayed in St. Louis for 5 days. It was really fun. Very touristy because I went to the Arch and I went to a bunch of nice museums and restaurants, and I saw a movie, and yeah, it was a really fun trip. Number 2, read every single Jane Austen novel of the 6 completed novels. I didn't do that. I didn't read any Jane Austen novels except for Pride and Prejudice, and I read that in January. So I want to read Emma since that's the new adaptation for Pemberley Digital stuff, you know, Hank Green, Lizzie Bennet Diaries, Emma approved, all that. I also want to read Sense and Sensibility because I love that movie, and I want to read Persuasion because that just sounds like a good book. Number 3, save over $1,000 in my savings account. I did do that. Unfortunately, I no longer have $1,000 in my savings account, but I did at one point have that much money in my savings account, but then I had to pull some of it out. Number 4, get a job at a library. I did not do that, and actually at the beginning of this year, I had 2 jobs, and now I only have 1, which I actually much prefer, even though I'm not getting as much money as I used to. But that's okay. I really hate working in retail, and I was working in retail at the beginning of this year, and now I am not. I'm just working in an office now, and I much prefer that. Number 5, purchase something big. Trips can count. I think when I was thinking about this, I thought I was going to buy a really nice new camera, or I was going to buy a new computer, or I don't know, or I was gonna take like a trip to California, or I was going to buy my ticket for VidCon 2014 or something like that. Unfortunately, none of that happened. Yeah, I'm not taking a big trip anytime soon. I'm not going to VidCon next summer. I could, but it's very unlikely I'm going to VidCon next summer. And I'm not traveling to any states or countries that'll cost a lot of money anytime soon, but yeah, that's okay. Number 6, become slightly more financially independent. If anything, I actually became less financially independent because I make less money than I used to at the beginning of this year. I mean, not that much less, and it's not like I have to pay for an apartment or a car or really anything that expensive. I think really the only thing I pay for by myself completely on an annual basis is my Netflix account. I did have my entire semester paid for by scholarships though, so I'd say that's a pretty high accomplishment. No student loans and no money from my own bank account or my parents' bank account. It's all scholarships and grants, so boom boom. Number 7, become more active at school, such as joining a club, being in a show, getting a job, and I definitely became more active at school this semester. I took a production class for my film degree, and I made so many friends, and I did a couple of really cool projects in that class, and it's great. I'm so much more involved with my school now, and I really love it. This one's kind of weird, but number 8 is do not cut hair short. I love short hair on other girls. I think it looks really, really great, but I really like my long hair and I don't want to cut it off. And I think a lot of girls who have had long hair sometimes just like, they just look in the mirror and they just want to be like, oh, I just want to cut all of it off, you know? And like, I have had those urges before, and I've almost acted on those urges before, but I know me, and I know if I ever got my hair cut super duper short, I would regret it like a week later and I would be really upset. But my hair is actually a lot, I can't really tell with this sweater in the way, but my hair is a lot longer than it was at the beginning of the year. Oh, frame. Ooh. I mean, it's not even like 100% straight right now, and it's way longer than it used to be. So, number 9, fill up the next fourth of this journal, and this journal is this journal. The back cover broke off. I've had this journal for like 4 years, so it was bound to happen. But, yeah, I wanted to fill up the next fourth. Oh, I almost did! If I write like a few more pages in here, I could. Okay, well, that's a maybe. That's a maybe. I might be able to do it. We'll see. My last New Year's resolution was to get my driver's license, and I didn't do it this year. I don't like talking about not having my driver's license as a 19-year-old because, especially where I live, which I live in a town where there's not any, like, really, there are cabs, but there aren't like frequently cabs. There is no train, there's a bus, but not a lot of people take the bus. People drive cars in my town is what I'm saying. I don't live in somewhere like New York where it's very common that someone my age wouldn't have their driver's license yet. So a lot of times when I tell people I don't have my driver's license, I get weird looks, and I feel like I'm being judged for one very, very small thing about me, and I don't really think that's fair. And honestly, the real reason I wanted my driver's license is so I wouldn't get that anymore, so I could just be like, yeah, I have my driver's license like everybody else in the world. I've just come to peace with not feeling like I have to get my driver's license. I still want to, and I am going to, but I'm not in a rush to. I don't really feel like I have to be. I accomplished 4, possibly 5 out of 10. That's not too bad. I think last year I accomplished like 1. Or maybe none, I don't even remember. I'm gonna go ahead and make my list now. Yep. I don't want to use any of the same resolutions, even if I didn't do them. I don't want to use any of the same resolutions I did last year. We're gonna do completely new ones. So number 1 is get straight A's for one of the 2 semesters for next year. Number 2 is to make a music video on my personal channel on YouTube that is not for a class project. Number 3 is to completely finish NaNoWriMo. Number 4 is to get a new job that gives me more hours than the one I have right now. Number 5 is to travel somewhere that's more than an hour away from here at least once. Sorry to go back to novel writing again, but number 6 is to finish the novel I have been working on for the past 2 years. Number 7 is to reach 200 subscribers on YouTube. Something I've really realized this year as both a film major and a film lover is how amazing it is to see films in theaters, and so I'm going to make number 8 that I see more than 10 movies in theaters. I'm gonna make number 9 to reread every single Harry Potter book. Last one. Has to be the big one. Has to be the big one. For the last and final one, I am going to just say I want to move on. We started NerdyVloggers at the very beginning of 2012, and I think for 2012 and 2013 I made a New Year's resolution video at the beginning of the year. It's kind of become a tradition to like come up with New Year's resolutions for the next year and see which ones I accomplished from the past year. So yeah, Brianna, I'll see you soon.